to become an entrepreneur, that is not a life of luxury and kick my feet up and do all the things. It's a grind.
For those people that don't have that or cannot clearly articulate it, you do need to do that first because everything else builds upon that.
I'm telling you, the world changed. Attention equals money and influence.
The real number in my mind is profitability.
So I'm going to build $1 million business in 12 months. You're going to need to do one thing else. The biggest shift that's happening in all of business is this idea.
You're listening to Burn Rate and Bullshit, the show where founders, suits, and corporate clowns all get called the fuck out.
We're Josh Robinson and Mike Nathan, entrepreneurs turned VCs.
With zero filters, strong opinions, and a bullshit detector set too high.
Welcome to the only business podcast that actually tells it like it is.
I'm a desperate man. Send lawyers, guns, and money. This shit has hit the fan.
Well, Josh, happy summer in the downtown metropolis of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Welcome back.
SFSD, I think is what the kids call it. Kind of like the Valley, SFSD, Austin, Boston, all the hubs of entrepreneurialism. I was thinking we'd talk
Silicon Prairie.
I was thinking we'd talk about an idea that everybody seems to have. If you don't believe me, just check out YouTube or TikTok. How to make $1 million in 12 months. Total fucking clickbait, right? Mm-hmm. So why don't we do it? I mean, we're two guys who might have actually done it, and I'm not joking when I say we have actually done $1 million in 12 months. We've done more than that too, as is resume.
The dollar amount keeps getting higher, and the time period keeps getting shorter.
We all became billionaires overnight, right?
Yeah,
that's what we did.
Easy.
So wouldn't it be fun if we did the burn rate and bullshit version of how would you fucking actually do it versus, hey, go buy 17 laundromats and then buy a Bugatti and then interview people on the street?
You can do that with 17 laundromats?
That's what I hear. I hear it's just like that.
Printing money at those things.
So where do you want to begin?
Well, you do this for a living. So
Ish.
Ish. So in addition to venture capital, you have, well, how would you describe Imperil?
Imperil Ventures, we do help entrepreneurs and side hustlers become millionaires by what to focus on first, next, and last. A lot of times it looks like something like this. How do I get my company to $1 million, $10 million? Insert the number. Yeah. We're using this as sort of the foil today. $1 million.
Yeah, so do people that you're working with, do they have an idea already? Yes.
Almost all of them, yeah.
Do they have a company yet? Have they actually started? Or is
Very
that
in
really
shades. It's idea from the back of the napkin to I've got an LLC. I'm talking to an attorney for a patent. Now what? Mm-hmm. So that's what we do at Imperil Ventures. But you know, for our audience who's just tuning in or may have never tuned in. I mean,
there's over 1 million of them now. So, I mean, welcome to the party.
Kind of a big deal. I don't know. Enough about me. Why don't you tell me about me? But no, here's the idea is I think you and I have quite a bit of credibility in doing this. I know I'm doing it mostly for a day job, but you have been a part of just as many as I have and sat shotgun either as the top dog or next to the top management senior staff. Mm-hmm. And it takes everybody. And we're talking about like a sort of a solo small entrepreneur thing. So I'll sort of do a humble brag. Part of my bona fides. Does it ruin
I
what I
don't
say?
think this is going to be all that humble of a brag. But continue.
Just so you know, this is a tutorial on how do you set credibility with your audience. We'll talk about it in the later chapters. No, it's one of the things like, hey, I have started over 20 companies on my own or co-founded or been a part of the team that has let it out. Okay. That's a real number and it's different than most, so it gives me some credibility. The last 5 years, the companies I've started have done over $170 million in revenue. We've exited for over $100 million. I've raised over $55 million for startup companies. We happen to have started a venture capital fund, and I'm a part of another one. So I say that, again, not to humble brag, to set a bar. So when you see Junior out there who's 13 years old wearing, Ray-Bans and driving a rented Ferrari, telling you that he knows the secrets to how to make a business work, not sure if you should believe that person.
Yeah. The gurus.
The gray-haired douchebag that's on a podcast that nobody listens to is probably the guy I want to listen to. Is my guess.
Is that you?
I feel like I'm backing up on the credentialing right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, and talk about your bona fides. I mean, you're not irrelevant to this space at all, are you? You're mostly, not always. We're doing a bad job of hyping us up.
I was going to say, if that's a humble brag, what the hell is you're not irrelevant?
What's the inverse of that? What's the inverse of that? Josh,
you're relevant to this conversation.
and Josh, you're no slouch either, are you? We want to do that.
Keep going. I don't want to talk about myself.
My point is, you and I both know a little something. You've run billion-dollar budgets on really big multi-billion-dollar organizations. You see it sort of from that top down. I see it from that bottom up.
Yeah.
So, between the two of us. Oh my God, this is going to.
I don't think that is that a real word. I don't think that is.
Betwixt. See, we're getting he's saying
Who's
between.
nodding, Josh?
Yeah.
No.
Betwixt.
No.
So between the two of us, we have quite a bit of credentials, and I think you're going to look it up, aren't you?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. So if I could, walk you through how to do this. So this is cutting for real to it. One of the first things entrepreneurs have to do, if you want to start a company and you want to be a millionaire, right? That's kind of the goal. Or you want to double your net income, or you want to do something. Make $1 million in 12 months. Now we're going to describe it as $1 million in revenue, depending on your business, how profitable it is. One of the first things you absolutely need to do is settle into the idea, and it sounds kind of hokey, you got to settle into the mirror. And so there's a system that I use. Everybody's kind of has a similar, but probably names it different. I call it the mirror, the map, and the hammer. And it covers the mirror. Look in the mirror. Why are you doing this? Mm-hmm. The map is, what the hell's your offer? Who's going to do it? What's your KPI? And then the hammer is, what's the activity you're going to do every single day to make sure that you make that $1 million or you meet your financial goals, et cetera. Pretty simple concepts. So let me dive into a few of them, and then you can make fun of me for how ridiculous they are. Fair?
Yeah. I've got lots of notes on how to do that. So I am ready.
This is your favorite part of the day.
Betwixt the two of us.
Fair.
That is
Betwixt is a fucking word. I'm telling you.
When I'm wrong, I can admit it. That is a real word.
It is a real.
Yeah.
Shakespearean, really.
Betwixt, though, there's a T at the end.
What'd I say?
I didn't hear the T when you said it.
I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah. It means in the middle of two things.
So I love how we've captivated our studio audience. They're all looking down on their cell phones, just deep into our conversation.
They're also Googling
Betwixt. Fair. That's fair. So let's get to making $1 million, Josh. First thing you need to do is not pretend to know. You have to actually know why you're doing this. Mm-hmm. Why the hell would you leave the safety and security of your senior vice president role or your job, your steady paycheck, and throw all that away? And to be clear, you don't have to quit your daytime job, but to become an entrepreneur, that is not a life of luxury and kick my feet up and do all the things. It's a grind. You are what they call a business farmer. You got to milk those cows every morning. You got to do something every single day to move that thing forward if you're going to be successful. I mean, and so what's the reason you're doing it? And it can't be the TikTok version or the thing you say online or the Instagram post.
Yeah. So what's a good answer to that question? What's a bad answer?
I'm working with an entrepreneur right now. He goes, I'm 50 plus years old. I've got 2 kids going to college in 2 years. We've done well for ourselves, but I need to make more money so I can provide for my family and the next thing. So although a lot of times it looks and sounds like money, but it's what that money buys you. Kids, college, marriage, buy my mom a new house, retire safely. There's a lot of it revolves around that, obviously, especially for a lot of the companies that we work with. And there's a lot of people out there doing nonprofits or other sort of mission-based. Like I'm thinking about some of the companies we're involved in. We've talked to people who are looking for early detection for sepsis, early detection for dementia. There's a mission behind that gets you up as like, why would I do this? Well, I don't know. Might save or improve the lives of millions of people. It's a pretty fucking good reason to get up out of bed and try this entrepreneurial thing. So, and of course, the money attached to it isn't the wrong thing. So
yeah, owning 10% of a $1 billion company is interesting to some people.
I'd raise my hand for that.
Yeah.
And although this is where you can widely take shots on me, because this is the most Mr. Rogery, softest, touchy-feeliest part of this particular segment, which is you can't fake this part. You really, honest to God, need to know why you're doing it. Most people will forget a step like this and not write it down and not really look at it to say, why am I doing this? Because it seems like, well, of course you want to make more money. Duh. Don't. It has to be a level deeper. You and I know.
So just the money would be a bad reason.
Just the money would be a terrible reason.
Okay.
Because of this reason. You and I both know it's going to get hard. And I mean not like, oh, it's kind of difficult today. No, like, holy Christ, I've turned gray overnight and I'm now up to 3 packs of cigarettes a day. Hard. And when that happens, if it's just for the money, you'll fucking quit.
That doesn't happen to everybody. That's not,
Wait.
We
said the same thing? I think we said the same thing. But it's this idea of it's going to get really hard beyond like where that money's not going to seem worth it for the pain or the cost you're going to go through because you'll rationalize or just think, especially if you're good at other stuff, I'll get a job done at United Health Group rolling out of bed, making $400,000. What do I need this headache for? So it needs to be deeper than just the money. That's why. And that's why I pull that out and say, and too many people miss that step and when I say miss the step, write it down. You should be asking yourself things like, what am I prepared to sacrifice? Am I going to make every single soccer game? Am I going to be able to sleep in on weekends, weekdays? Am I going to be able to go to a movie? Am I going to be able to join the bowling league? I know you're a big bowler. Those are the things you need to say, big and small, right? Mm-hmm. So if you haven't legitimately walked through that and sort of made a pact with yourself, you're going to find out the hard way. If your heart was in this thing at the very beginning, you'll find out real hard. So for me, the path to $1 million in your first 12 months, you better be fucking locked in. You better be ready with a really strong why. Bust out the doors. I'm doing this today. It's a part of your identity. Even if you're side hustling. I might be project manager by day, but side hustler at night and weekends. This better be your identity. This meaning like your entrepreneurial, spirit animal. And if you don't have that vibe, if you don't have that identity within you, you are absolutely smoked.
Do you tell people what your why is? I mean, is that just something you remind yourself of, or is that something you talk about publicly often?
I think it's fine to talk about publicly, especially, well, think about back in the good old days of our last company, which shall remain nameless. We talked about the why early and often, especially when we're hiring senior executives or senior leadership folks. Like, hey, this is why we're here. This is why we're doing it. It's really important to us. You dig on that vibe, right? Because it's going to get hard. It's going to be important. Yeah. So I say that to say, even as an entrepreneur, you should say some of that stuff out loud all the time. No, I don't think you walk around and the first thing out of your mouth is like, hey, I'm doing this for my kids. Here's my offering. Do you want to buy a candy bar? I don't think that makes sense. But you should have it well articulated, well rehearsed. People who are in your family around you should know really clearly just through natural conversations what you've been up to. So get your head right there. And I talked about belief a little bit. One of the things that I try to instill in people, and I do some posting about it, is this thing called the golden loop, right? And it feeds into your identity. It feeds into your mental entrepreneurial state when you go on. And the golden loop is this: your beliefs determine your behavior, and your behavior will determine the outcomes you have. And once you land at an outcome, you sit back and reflect from, I'm like, the fourth step is either I confirmed the belief that I had, or I'm reimagining, rethinking, like, yeah, that didn't work.
Sure. And
so that belief is set in, like, make
Turns
it up.
out I'm an asshole. I didn't get the output that I wanted.
Well, it's more than that, because here's the good news. You get to steer part of this. You get to steer what that belief system is at the end of it. So if I believe like, hey, if I'm just going to work super, super hard, because it is difficult, I'm going to work really hard, really long. I'm going to get stuff done. What does my behavior look like? I'm believing like I've got to be a hard worker. I am a hard worker. This requires hard work. That's my belief. Guess what my behavior is going to be? I'm going to be a grinder. I'm going to actually do the thing. I'm going to take action. I'm going to get experience. I'm going to get a result. And that result might be good, bad, and different, and then you look at the outcome. So the idea is be really careful what you put into your head when you're walking through the mirror, when you're thinking about what you believe is an identity. And again, save your it sounds like we're in therapy at like the first level, but it's true. You better get your mind right. And because how many times have you accused me of being a little too optimistic?
Daily. Daily.
And
You're obnoxious with your optimism.
right. And
I'm sure you'd say the same about me and my realism.
I want to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to think about how I'd frame it. But yes. And I think for both of us, it works to our advantages on both ends of the street.
Sure.
Together, we're dynamo, obviously, 1 million followers.
Yeah.
What's not to love? Where was I?
The mirror?
Fair. Oh, that's fair. Oh, that's fair. So what you put in your head matters.
Yeah.
And so I've been accused of being overly optimistic. It's because I'm like, I don't care what comes up. We're going to figure out a way around it.
Sure.
Nothing's a death knell. So whenever I approach something, my behavior is different than someone's like, fuck, this is going to kill us.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. Yeah, I bet it is. All your behavior from that will derive. So we'll get out of my inner Tony Robbins for right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, looking for a sponsor, Tony. Love you. We would totally rep his stuff, wouldn't we? Don't tell. What about Simon Sinek? We can get Simon Sinek in.
Ooh, I'm out.
Fighting words.
I'm out.
Fighting words. You don't like Tony Robbins?
This would be Burn Rain Bullshit with Mike Nathan.
One. BC singular. So anyway, so that's the first thing. So bang away at that. Does that sound too fluffy, too lame to start there? Again, if you're serious about building $1 million business, because this isn't like fucking ask a girl out for a date and see if it works out. This is an all-in thing.
Yeah. It makes sense. And I would expect most people that are looking to start a business and are wanting to hear, actionable steps that they can take, that's going to feel like no fucking way. Wow, revolutionary, know my why. Okay, what else?
Yep.
And it's an important first step. I mean, for those people that don't have that or cannot clearly articulate it, you do need to do that first because everything else builds upon that.
I would agree.
So I do agree with that.
So, but it is funny. You're right. It's the most like, well, duh.
Yeah.
Agree. And you and I've been in plenty of pitches, and I've seen enough clients come through my door to say, you would be absolutely shocked how many don't. They don't know it.
I was going to ask you that. How many think they have that already? And then when you walk through the exercise with them, they realize, I didn't have it.
Yeah.
Or I didn't have it framed the right way or the best way.
Mm-hmm. It's more than 50%.
Yeah.
More than 50%.
So if you're hearing this and you're like, well, Jesus, guys, that revolutionary.
Yeah.
You actually may not have it and you think you might.
Well, it's like any advice. It's the most obvious thing your dad or your mom ever told you. Like, oh yeah, I should do that. Bring a coat. I know how to bring a coat. You don't need to tell me to bring a coat. You leave the house and it's cold. They're like, well, fuck, I should have brought a coat.
So the obvious answer would be, call 1-800-IMPERIL Ventures on how to do that.
Well, that's an obvious.
And if you don't do that, or if you can't do that,
or check out the content.
How do you get confirmation that you've got
you'll know
the right map? Or the right
let me
mirror?
put it back on you. How many times have we listened to a pitch from a founder who you're like, they got it. They are buckled in. They are head right, aligned, shoulders, eyes.
Yeah.
You can. So what's the?
But even the ones that don't have it think they do. That's what I mean. If you're the entrepreneur, short of hiring you through Imperial Ventures, how do you know that you've got the right mirror?
Questions like, would you do this if you had to volunteer to do it? Mm-hmm. Questions like, whose lives are improved because your business exists? Mm-hmm. Who do you touch? What does your life look like differently? There's a lot of set of questions you can ask. We've got a worksheet that we ask these, like all these sort of like, It's almost like what Nightmare Before Christmas? The Dickens movie. Not Christmas Carol. Ebenezer Scrooge.
That's the Christmas Carol.
Okay. It's the Christmas Carol. We can edit all that out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously know Charles Dickens.
Don't.
He's like, this is what little Timmy looks like if you never grew up.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's laying there, I'm paraphrasing. Little Timmy, go get me a Christmas
This is
goose.
getting a little Trumpy. Like, this is like a Trump speech.
Fuck off.
Did he make fun? Yo, no,
He did. What they walked? You remember like
very similar mannerisms.
the previous, present, and future Christmases. Timmy's not doing so. Isn't Timmy dead? Timmy doesn't make it.
Timmy dies in
future
the
Christmas.
Future Christmas, yeah.
So I have to be, should be you really, but I have to take him through the Ebenezer Scrooge journey. I'm the ghost of Christmas. I walk like, hey, this is what you've been doing. You see how you're fucking it up? This is the path you're on. This is your future path, good or bad, right? And you point them out to like, so what's your why? It can't be just about the money. How does your life change? How about your families? What about little Timmy? Timmy gonna make it?
So, David, do you have a mentor or a spouse or someone in your own personal circle that can serve that purpose? Or
Yeah, you 100% should.
Yeah, okay.
You should for sure have. If you think you're gonna be Mr. or Mrs. Solo all the way, no one's gonna help you. You're gonna get there by yourself. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Mm-hmm.
That's not gonna happen. You're gonna need all sorts of help from different people. So that grounds in your why. That's how you know when you got a real one.
Mm-hmm.
Timmy doesn't die. You wake up from that dream. You run to the street, flipping, what do they have? Shillings, pounds. Flick them. Hey, Timmy, go get me a Christmas goose. When you're doing that, then you know you got your why. And we've seen the founders with the look of the reborn Ebenezer Scrooge in their eye.
Mm-hmm.
This could be delicious material.
So you've looked in the mirror. You like the Ebenezer that you see.
Trademark this shit. By the way, why have a... Well, so, okay, yeah. So
have you trademarked? Mirror
map?
and
Yeah, that is, yes. But you said the new and born again... What did you say?
Born Ebenezer. You like
born again Ebenezer. No. Ish. So here's the concept. Figure out what the hell you're going to sell, right? Figure out why. Again, all this is going to be dud advice. Mm-hmm. So I'll wait for the feedback later. What's your offer? What are you selling to whom at what price? Don't guess.
That's the map. The map is the offer.
No, that's the offer. The offer is a part of the map.
Got it.
But we're doing it in order. So it's going to be the mirror. The map is.
I'm fucking up your flow. Sorry.
I think you're fine. It's a good call out. Was that Mike? Hot Mike? The mirror, the map, and the hammer. The map has 3 parts to it: your offer, your systems, and your digital thought leadership or your voice. Those are the 3 things that go into it. So the next piece after, okay, got my why. Born again Ebenezer Scrooge. I've seen the future. Yeah. Without my company, I'm going. And then it's the office space. What is it you say you do here? Right? What the hell are you going to sell? What service or product? To whom? At what price? Sounds simple, but you got to say that out loud really clearly, really loudly, so there's no confusion. You should be able to tell people.
And quickly. I don't want to fucking
1 or 2 sentences.
Yeah.
Like what I told you. I help entrepreneurs and side hustlers become millionaires by what to focus on first, next, and most. Yeah. The offer. What, to whom, for how much. Mm-hmm. So while you're thinking about what your offer is actually going to be, you're super motivated, you're ready to jump into it, you might want to ask yourself a question. What's the math on this? Have you done the math? And you know what I mean by that? So we're saying $1 million in 12 months. How do you get there? Well, I could sell one person a $1 million product or service. Mm-hmm. Done for the year.
Not going to happen.
What's the problem? What's the problem? Just do that. Now, it could take you 11 months and you could decide that's one way to do it. Or you could sell $1 product 1 million times. That's
also not going to happen.
Also not very likely. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you need to know this math while you're figuring out your offer. So if you're like, hey, you know what? I'll make an example. I could sell you a cribbage board, because I'm a big cribbage fan. I could sell you a cribbage board for $25. I'd have to sell a lot of freaking cribbage boards to make $1 million in 1 year. But what if I sold you a training system on how to be a gentleman and play cribbage? And I sold you a deck of cards, or I added a whole bunch of value add things that brought it up to $100 or $1,000. Or maybe I started a cribbage league and I sold my boards at the league. Maybe I started in franchise, by the way, this is my idea, a professional cribbage league that then travels around the country. All the best cribbage players in the country, the world, come and do it, and I make it a league.
Is that a thing? Why is there not a cribbage league?
It's coming.
There really should be.
CPL.
I mean, everything is a fucking professional sport now.
Yes. Do you know how good?
Have you seen
I'm the Michael Jordan of the
these
league.
hats that are doing cornhole, like beanbag toss, and the professional,
Well, define
the professional
cornhole
league that they are?
for me. In South
Well,
Dakota.
I call
yeah.
it beanbags.
Yeah, beanbags.
It's
They
duck,
call it
duck,
corn-
gray duck, and it's fucking beanbags. Because
You got all
all these, but have you seen these people?
no notes. Very lightly. I've seen like literally like Instagram
It's
stuff.
like there's
I've
like
not.
a whole ESPN channel about it now. They were on.
Cornhole.
Yes. So we were at
Sure, that's not a
Dave
spicy,
and Buster's
It's not a spicy
for
website
my
you've been on?
9-year-old's birthday party, and they had it up on the screens like they were watching. There was on.
Are there fans like in the stands? Or
Yes.
It's not just wives being super pissed off and like lawn chairs. Like I can't believe I'm at another
No.
cornhole event.
You would expect that, right? But
Right.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Wives
they had
are
all
in there?
sorts of things. Like they were
Kids
trying to
are
get
there?
2 bean bags into 2 different things at the same, like all sorts of different challenges. Like, how is that a professional sport?
So the cornhole people figured it out. A value add. How much is that set worth now?
But why is cribbage not? There's got to be a cribbage league, right?
Well, it's pretty unknown. Yeah, there was a golf league and they came up with Live. They're not doing so well anymore.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
turn
a
it.
good example. So you're going to start a cribbage league. Not the point of this.
Not the point of this. Well, it is and it isn't. The idea is, have you done the math on your idea? You've got your why, you're super stoked. What the fuck's your offer? Oh my God, my dream is to sell cribbage boards. Well, newsflash, you can't do that at scale and make $1 million in your first 12 months. That won't work. What you need to do is build value around it. Okay? So you need to build value around it, and you make that value equation really solid. And I'll give you 4 concepts. If you talk to any sort of any guru, they'll tell you your offer or your value that you want to create is going to be usually in a couple different buckets. One is, what is my ideal outcome, right? What's my ideal outcome that I want? You take that times your certainty. What's the likelihood that happens? Divide it by how long do I have to wait for this thing, and how much do I have to do, learn, risk? What's the lift? What's my effort I have to put into it? If you can push up my ideal outcome and my degree of certainty, like both a guarantee, value goes really, really high. If I can reduce the time I have to wait, because do you want to wait for anything?
No.
No, you're waiting for me just to finish my sentence.
I'm waiting for you to get to your point. It's killing me.
And then it's fair. It's good feedback. And the other part is the lift. How much fucking effort? The more I can reduce that effort for you, like think of products or services that are done for you, done with you, sort of thing. You jam your offer into it. So take the cribbage board. Ideal outcome. I get to play cribbage all the time, high stakes, the best ever. I just elated around the cribbage world. Degree of certainty. I don't know, I'm going to play with some super cool guys that Mike hangs out with. Damn near 100%. Guaranteed all your money back. You just start adding different things around your product or service or both. You combine both of them to create a creator value where you get to like, hey, I could charge $1,000 for that. I could charge $5,000 for that for a year. I could charge $10,000. Or maybe you've got a product that, you know what? I could do $25,000 worth of value if I keep thinking a little bit bigger. How do I increase the ideal outcome for my person? I'm just looking for a cribbage board, but now he's like in the bowling league paying me $300 a month to be a part of the bowling league. And oh, by the way, and I'm selling him a piece of wood with holes in it. That's all margin, right? Does that make sense? I'll pause there for you to make fun of me, but that's when you think about it. what is your offer to whom? And did you do this value equation? Did you do the math? Is it going to sing to enough people? Are you going to even be able to get to $1 million in a reasonable assumptions?
I would say people will want to understand a framework around that, though. How do you actually go through that process?
The framework is that value equation. Sorry if that wasn't clear.
But how do you actually, but as a person who's sitting there trying to think
by yourself, you mean?
Yeah, like how do you actually step through that?
The reason why you call it, and the reason why you have to put a fancy name like the value equation or the offers, like I might reference Office Space more than once on this podcast. Do you remember the jump to conclusions?
Should we get a little counter in the bottom of the screen? Right?
Remember the jump to conclusions, Matt?
Yeah.
It's a genius idea. You put this mat down, you get it, you jump to conclusions. The guy who had a pet rock, he was a millionaire. It's a reality check. Like, do you know if the market will actually give a shit about this product or service? Will somebody actually buy it repeatedly or at scale enough to make this worth your time? So it's a reality check. And so how do you do it? You need to come up with something. And hopefully, and a lot of entrepreneurs are like this, I put us in that camp. We're likely subject matter experts in the field we're going into. If you and I were to go back into alternative care, healthcare, delivery outside the hospitals or clinics, there's about 1% of the population or less that know more than we do. Mm-hmm. We are top tier. We would know exactly what to talk about, know what's realistic. We could figure out demand, all those things. So pretend you're an executive at John Deere or an executive, what's out here in South Dakota?
Schwann's. CJ Schwann's.
I tell you what, Schwann's. I
Smithfield.
Fancy myself
a lot of meat production out here.
Well, meat and ice cream. I fancy myself an ice cream expert. I might be along with that same tier.
It's actually Schwann's frozen Asian production facility out here.
Have I missed a chapter? They're the ice cream folks with the truck.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Good point. My point is, there is one.
Okay.
Welcome. Mm-hmm. Point is, likely it's that reality check that most entrepreneurs that are going to jump into it are probably pretty close to it or understand it.
No, that's
enough to it. There's a valid market there. And
either from professional experience or personal to
personal
hobby.
usage, all the things are hobby. Yeah. And so that's when you can pull in, and those entrepreneurs who get it, again, all of them might be successful. Our goal here is to make sure you get to $1 million in your first 12 months. Mm-hmm. If you're not looking at that value equation, how do I drive up the best ideal result for my client? Increase the perceived certainty or the likelihood that it's going to happen. Decrease all the bad stuff and pitch the shit out of that to them. Mm-hmm. That's going to get you $1 million a year at the right price. And you likely know it. So and we have been through the people who are just completely off their rocker, have no idea. I mean, can we talk about the lobster bait thing yet? Or is it too soon?
Yeah, I'm traumatized by it, but yeah, we can talk about it.
Lobster bait. And here's the thing.
Is this guy cool? Is he talking about him? Probably.
Well, no one's going to know. No one's going to know. Well, I've talked to him.
There's so many lobster bait guys out there. He's never going to know this is the one we're talking about.
I'll try to do this quickly. Or not quickly. I'll try to get through it at best speed, as we say with the kids.
Let's just do it in less than 38 minutes it took you to tell me about it. Do it less than that.
It's good feedback. So the guy with the lobster bait idea, which I absolutely fell in love with, and then I kind of had to come back to earth a little. Mm-hmm. Lobster bait guy out of the East Coast discovered that he was the lobster bait king for a while, and I believe it came from he would take extra pig parts or slaughtered, tripe, right? They call it. You're gonna follow tripe is what they call it, right? Mm-hmm. Leftover slaughtered, butchered parts of pigs, and they would put that at the bottom of your lobster net or catch, and that would attract the lobsters that would come. And then when his explanation was the Chinese got really aggressive with lots of pig parts, they were using it for everything. And so because they were using it for collagen or some damn thing, there wasn't a lot of extra spare pig parts around. So he had to develop a new...
First AI, now we're pigs. When is this going to stop?
Well, it started actually. Here's the conspiracy. It all started back when everybody figured out. I was on the phone with this guy forever.
The Chinese pig part conspiracy.
Before that, there was even a burger earthquake, Everybody figured out that omega-3 fatty acids are the best thing ever. So when canneries were pushing out all their seafood products, nothing went to waste because they would take all that shit and squeeze it down and make it into your fish oil tablets that everybody takes. That's a thing. So there was literally no seafood byproduct lobster bait. The market was in shambles. They moved to pig.
People may remember seeing this on the headlines of Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal's been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah.
They moved to the pigs. Well, we know what happened there. Chinese ate up that market literally, took all that away.
This is ridiculous.
And then he said, but I still got it. I still got it.
So was this guy in the lobster
You're
bait
missing
business up
Yes,
to this point? He was
sourcing
he was riding the seafood wave, then the pig wave.
I was selling you steaks, then chicken breast, then creatine, and now I've got the protein coffee. He was going to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing.
Yeah.
So then he goes like, I can get about 3,000 bovine hides a day out of Pennsylvania. Well, what the hell do you do with the bovine hides? I cut them up. That's the lobster bait. Great news is you can reduce it with its water weight in Pennsylvania, ship it for a third of the weight. I rehydrate it here and we put them in the pots. We sell them per pound. So this guy knew it. My point is, he knew it. And then I did doing some method. Like, well, you'll have to move like 35 metric tons of cowhide to make $10 million. Is that right? Yeah, you nailed it. You got it, Mike. I actually have no idea where we're going with this story anymore because I've been so.
Well, you were talking about how the entrepreneur is likely close to the subject matter, the product,
Yes.
the industry that they're selling into.
He was a little too close.
This was one example.
I got a little too close too. To be honest, I started falling in
Yeah,
love
I
with
mean,
him.
you were. I mean,
Mike,
harassing me to write a check.
$25 million monopoly.
Yeah,
Sitting right up there in Crabapple Cove, Maine.
Kenny Bunkport.
So if that's your offer. His value equation was pretty tight because he essentially had a monopoly. So the offer is the first part of your map. Let's move over and I'll touch on this one because everyone's going to have an opinion on this and everyone's going to love it and you'll likely, I know you'll be in my camp on this, Josh. There are things I know about you and there's things I don't know. This is the Donald Rumsfeld. There are known knowns.
This is not an unknown
This is that section of it. And so, okay, I've got an offer. Cool. Now, how are you going to run the company? What are your systems? Who are the people that are actually going to run it? And what I'm going to tell you and tell everybody that'll ever listen to me, you're going to want to start out in this order. You're going to use AI for literally everything until you can't. Period. Full stop. Now, there could be different versions of AI or AI drives into other software, et cetera. You want to cover the big three. Your industry might be super unique and special, where you need a fourth or something, but you need sales, ops, finance. Cover off on those in your home.
First hire is Claude.
First hires Claude.
Yeah.
I know, and people are like, "Oh, what? There's no way." Yes, way. Revenue per human. We talk about this at Imperial Venture. AO1, army of one. You can have an army of bots working for you. You adding, approving, editing at a high level, and the bots doing the work for you. It's incredible what you can get done by yourself. I don't want to take the whole segment and talk just about AI, but there's a hierarchy. It's you and maybe a focused few or some partners that you might have. If you and I were going to start it, we'd delegate it, but we both would have an AI bot backing us up, right? So we'd be doing that. So your hierarchy is the next person to help you around all three of those systems is AI, right? Then it's going to be some other generic automated system in any software, AI, automation. Then you're going to move down to the lowly human, have another person actually do it, right? With a standard operating procedure or whatever they're going to do. And then the last thing is either, if there's something you need to do and those three people can't do it, it's probably so unimportant, you don't need to do it. Delegate it to somebody else, get rid of it, don't even focus on it. So as you go through that decision tier, that's what you do. So the whole idea of don't make your business more complicated than it needs to be. If you cover off on sales, you cover off on operations. And operations, let me just give a quick definition. Sales is obviously exactly what that is. You're going to sell it. They're going to give you money for some product or service. That's sales. Convince them to give you their hard-earned money. Ops is the delivery of that service or that widget. Finance, You're familiar. Count up all the shillings, all the pounds from Uncle Scrooge's purse. Is this working out? Is it coming in, coming out, and all variations of that? You cover those.
What aspects of sales, as an example, are you having AI do? So they're not meeting with potential customers and actually
Good point.
having the sales call. Well, so what parts of that are you having AI do?
Well, you definitely, again, depend. I'm going to put a small caveat to this. Depends on your business to some degree. So this isn't a universal. This is not universal advice. But you likely can do 90% of your prospecting, not your sales calls, 90% of your prospecting done by AI with prompts, having bot agents work for you with access to a database of your core audience, your target market. So you can talk about what do I mean by prospecting? I can turn a prospect or a lead into a warm lead, meaning they know about my company, they know about me, and they're interested somehow at some minimum level to hearing more or wanting to buy my offer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can automate that first bucket, top of the funnel, as the kids say, of the sales process. You can have you can have AI ask it a survey. You can have it send this prospect information if they're interested. It just completely can interact with you. And the hook is always going to be, hey, if you're interested, you can sit down and have a conversation with Mike. So AI can set that appointment for you. I took a call from, Dan Martell. Dan Martell is like this guru. I believe it's called Atlas. This is not a plug for Atlas, but we would be happy to take your money to sponsor you or to plug you. You'd sponsor us, we'd plug you. They have an AI bot that sounds exactly like a human, real time, no glitching, no big pause. And this lady just talks to you, gets you scheduled for an appointment. Now, you probably can talk to her about the weather, probably can talk about a couple other things, but not going to go beyond that. But she'll get your ass scheduled if you're interested. Don't need anybody to do that. That's a part of the sales process.
Do you know you're talking to a bot with that product?
It sounds fantastic. I've done it 3 times. 1 time was a little sketch. 2 times were amazing.
Was that the time you asked it what it was wearing? Or?
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? Right? It was one of those moments. So that's where AI can help out in that part of the sales process. And then marketing, obviously, you can automate so much marketing content to drive, all the different platforms or even email marketing. So AI should be a lot of your sales or your sales force, sales and marketing force. And if it's not that, there's lots of automation that can be done by likely your CRM that's there, which is different than AI, right? Automation is just sort of if this, then this, and just plugs it through. And then lastly, if you have enough of it or you're maxed out, you can move over to an actual human, Josh. A red-blooded American, or not, I suppose you could offshore it. You can have somebody call somebody. You can have somebody pitch somebody. Then eventually it's going to get back to a closer, likely if it's a small company, founder. We're talking about $1 million a year. It's probably you, chat, and, your mom probably running as like the secretary or the receptionist or something. True story. She was at Livio Health Group. My mom was answering phone for us at a busy time. It's a different story. So that's how I would think about it. AI, automate, human, delegate. If it gets to the human, literally, this is how we think about it. How crazy is this? By the time it gets to a human, you probably should be thinking about even it's not that important, get rid of it or delegate it to like a vendor or somebody outside your company. So we've talked about in the map, it is your offer, your systems, and pretty pleased with sugar on top, use fucking AI as best you can. Last part is going to be your voice. And that's a easy way to say digital thought leadership. And that's a fancy way to say online social marketing, brand building at all, right?
Yeah.
What we mean by that, if you don't know, and I'm going to tell you, Josh, I'm sure you understand this part, sales content online through social media is the new sales call. It is the new sales call. We, on an earlier episode of Burn Rate and Bullshit, didn't we talk to like 70% of the people making a buying decision never talked? This was in bigger companies. They'd never talked to the company They've done all the research. It's at a significant, like, last minute
By the time they
stage.
talk to you, they've already made up their mind.
Exactly. They're already there. So if you're not doing that, all of your sales efforts likely is going to suck. It's not going to work that great. You might be the exception, but if, again, in our goal of $1 million in the first year, you need to develop digital thought leadership. If you're not online, you are invisible. Not only you, and it's not a vanity project. It's not about me. It's about the company.
Mhm.
It's about the $1 million run in 12 months. So you have to make sure that people know, like, and trust you or your brand, product or service, right? Either one of those or all of them, hopefully. And you need to be putting out something, a compelling worldview, or talking about your compelling offer online and all the elements around it. Not in a features, advantages, benefits sort of way, meaning I'm just going to explain this to you in a way that is compelling or attractive in some way. Like, so it's got to be slightly different. It's got to have some edges. I need to say the thing that most people don't say, maybe like a contrarian view, or it's this view of it's the obvious thing that's in front of your face, right? Like we were talking before, talk about your why. I know it seems really obvious and dumb, but you do it at your peril. So Josh, the last part of the map, I know you're hanging on every word now.
Bated breath.
Bated breath. So I'm going to build $1 million business in 12 months. You're going to need to do one thing else. The biggest shift that's happening in all of business is this idea, outside of AI, is this idea consumers have decided, voters have decided, customers, patients, insert wherever it is, they're going to find you first. And so you better be online. If you're not online, you are invisible to your prospects, your target market. And what we might have called bragging and just kind of vain posting and sort of vain metrics from, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, pre-COVID, let's even say, that sounded awful. Like, well, who are you? Why are you talking about yourself? I'm telling you, the world changed. Attention equals money and influence. We've talked about that before. And if you don't have attention to your brand, your product, your service, the combination of all those, you are going to be invisible. Ask any brand that's launched in the last 5 years. If you were not heavily present on all the social medias, long form, short form, you name it, you are dead in the water. So one of the core components to getting your butt to $1 million, you got to have a good why. You got to be buttoned up with your offer, really good systems, but people have to know, but they can't buy anything from you if they don't know who the hell you are. So you need to have a real proactive, what we call digital thought leadership, or your voice. Your product, your brand, you need to make sure that you put out into the world that offer.
How differentiated does that have to be, though, from what everyone else is saying out there?
Well, I think...
Do you need to be pretty unique with them?
So the operative word in this is, so you could just say branding or voice or marketing. We're talking about digital thought leadership because it's different. Because I want you to put a take out in the world, a compelling worldview that could be contrarian maybe, or it could be restating something super obvious that people just need to sort of be reminded of, like, oh yeah, it is true. I should go for a walk. I shouldn't eat 3 cheeseburgers. Shouldn't eat 3 cheeseburgers and smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. That's right. Good tip. Good tip. I'm compelled and attracted to your voice. So this digital thought leadership is, you need to be a leader. And the leaders usually are saying something that is probably around the corner, or they're saying something that's really seminal to how you approach. And you throw the digital in front of it because you should be recording stuff like what we're doing. You should be posting on social media, not just about the product or the widget, about the big idea. If I'm talking about Cribbage League, the PCL, Professional Cribbage League, coming to a town near you, didn't need the wink.
That was weird.
It was, people will get it. Cribbage players will.
There's a lot of winking in cribbage?
Just Ankley. No, that's 500. We're confusing card games now. Where was I going with this? You don't have any idea, do you? You don't have to talk about your cribbage board business. You talk about the amazing benefits of bonding with friends over cards. spending time with your family playing a simple game that's not revolving around gambling. You want to talk about downtime. How do you teach your 12-year-old how to do math really quick in their head and have pattern recognition? You talk all around the crypto. How much fun is it? That's sort of this idea of your digital thought leadership. You need to have, whether it's your AI business, your healthcare business, you're developing a new coaster product. Why is it important to preserve your table or the precious audio in a podcast by not dragging your mug across it? As some examples. Mm-hmm. So that's what you need to do. So digital thought leadership literally is table stakes moving forward, especially if you're new, especially if you wanted to go from $0 to $1 million in your first year. Your biggest problem right now is nobody knows who the hell you are. Nobody knows what your product is. Nobody knows what your service is. You're starting at ground zero. And so the easiest, most leverageable, cheapest thing to do is to talk about it online all the time, not just a little. I know you'll hear people like Gary Vaynerchuk, Alex Hormozi will talk about this in a certain light. Some real successful business guys. And most of people think like, hey, if I just post once or twice, I'm cool. Once or twice a week, once a day even, well, big deal. What you don't understand is, yes, volume does matter. It does. Although you don't want to put out complete shit. You want to put out real good quality stuff, but it's way more than 1 or 2 or 3 tweets, a week. It's daily across all platforms. And even before that, you have to discover your own voice. Kind of like you figured out your why. You better figure out what the hell is what's your compelling worldview? What's your compelling offer to the world? And talk all the subjects around it. What do you want to talk about? What don't you want to talk about? What do people assume about your industry or your product that's wrong and you can call them on it? What's the thing you can remind them of that's the obvious advice piece? Developing all of that, packaging it into what looks like a post to LinkedIn, to Twitter, to wherever it is, either a talking head video, static graphic images, starting a podcast. I hear that's a thing to do now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've heard that. Newsletters, blogs.
We should do that.
That sounds like a great idea. But the idea is all these different vehicles you want to push your brand out there, and all of it's going to be sort of head nodding content, meaning it's unassailable. Mm-hmm. It makes sense. It's a gotcha, but it's not controversial. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. And it gets people to know, like, and trust you, know, like, and trust your product, service, whatever that might be. And that's going to drive revenue. If you don't have that, Josh, I'm going to tell you right now, and these are core to what we're talking about. If you do not have your reason nailed down, if you don't have your offer nailed down, and you're not using AI, and the last component is digital thought leadership, you're not making it to $1 million. Or you're selling.
Flip that around, though. I mean, if you do all those things.
Oh, there's no guarantee.
Okay.
Was that too quick? Because I want to talk to you about the last part. Do you want to know why it's not guaranteed if you do all those things?
Please tell me.
A lot of people ask me, Mike, what's the thing I need to do next?
Yeah.
A lot of people. Am I the guru now? Did I just turn into?
You're sounding guru-ish.
Let's at the end of this, let's go back and talk about who's the biggest fraud that we know as a guru outside of the two of us. Mm. Fair?
Yeah. It's a great idea.
Yeah,
I wish I would have thought of it and told you that right before we started filming that we should do that.
You don't have to say the rest of that. You could just let me have the win. Just cede the win to me. So I know you're asking, it's bugging you. What's the next missing piece, Mike? Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you, Josh. The next missing piece is you actually have to fucking do something. You actually have to do the thing that moves your company forward the most. And it likely looks like sales. What does sales cure, Josh?
Well, for a CEO, everything.
Yeah. A good sales number cures all ills. Mm-hmm. Cures everything's fine. What are you worried about? Big number in sales cures everything. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know your business, but if you're going from $0 to $1 million in 12 months, pretty sure your biggest obstacle is sales. You need to get hustling on that. So we talk about something called the alpha action, or we call it the hammer. That's the last part of this, the hammer. What's the one thing? Not a set of things, not 15 different things, or they're sort of in this bucket and sort of not. What is the one activity that you as the founder, you as a team can do that moves the ball forward the most. If it's emailing, you send emails all day. If it's cold calling, knocking on a door, walking in someone's business, that's what you need to do. If it's putting out content, that's what you need to do. Name what it is, identify it, put some KPI around it. Make sure you're super solid as that's the thing you do. And here's what it is. When you talk about hammer, this is the action part of all of this planning and all this thoughtfulness is you need to do it focused first half of the day. Not just like, hey, I'll do a couple at 8 o'clock. No, from 8 to noon, that's all you're doing. And your feedback as a CFO type and general partner, managing partner of a venture fund, like, that feels like the activity is a little top heavy. You're right. It does. And it needs to be. If you want to go from 0 to $1 million, you can't do it all. You try to do it all, you're going to have a great little $200,000 business. Congratulations. You might as well go get a fucking job.
We got AI doing everything else. So
Right.
what else do you need to be doing? Or do this.
Josh, as simple as you just made that, how many people actually do that? People get so fucking distracted by the smallest thing. Your phone, you're working from home, the dog's barking, God knows you're at the office, something's going on there. Distraction kills, man. Simplicity wins. If you can just get in your head, everything needs to fuck off for the first 4 hours of the day. Everything. Turn your phone off if you're not using it. Shut your laptop, whatever you're doing. Do that thing. Do it for 3 weeks and come back and talk to me. I will guarantee you will have your best 3 weeks of sales every single time. I'll guarantee it. With money even, I think I would. If you do that. So that's your hammer. Find the one thing that you need to be doing. Don't do anything else. And I'm not saying like, hey, don't send a DM, send an email message, create content, make sales calls, follow up on proposals. That's 5 things.
Yeah.
Want to be clear with what I'm saying. You're only sending emails if that's your hammer.
Yeah.
I'm only making sales calls if that's your hammer. Whatever that thing is, all you do. And so you better, and also to be clear, make sure you know what your hammer is, right? And that's likely after you've observed some repetition of this, like, hey, you know what moves the needle the most? It's that thing. It's that constraint. Once you figure that out, that's the hammer. And then you track it every single day, period. If you do all those elements, so to ask my question, you could do all those things and happen. You're right. If you do all those things and you include the hammer, you'll get there.
You'll get. Do you guarantee that?
I almost said it.
Do you?
I would do this way.
You do all of those things.
You do all those things. I would say I'll guarantee it. Prove me wrong. Reach out to me at imperilledventures.com, people. I'll guarantee it. If you do the things right, do all the steps right, you'll go.
So I found similar numbers from a couple different places, but this is from Chart Mogul, which if you don't know them, there's really cool things out there. If you're a numbers person, if you're an optimistic person, probably not your thing, Mike. For those of us that are grounded in facts and numbers,
go for it.
It's a cool thing. What they found is little over 3% of startups reach $1 million in sales in less than 12 months. Fun fact, do you know what the acceptance rate is at Harvard?
Less than 3?
Higher.
Is it really?
Yeah, you have a better chance of getting into Harvard than you do getting to $1 million.
So am I a professor?
Huh?
Am I a professor then?
That's not where I was going with that.
Oh, I thought
I was saying it's really hard to get to $1 million.
Okay, good.
So your thesis then would suggest that 3% of startups hit $1 million in a year. 97% of entrepreneurs are doing it wrong.
100. That I believe they are.
That is what you're saying.
So let me bet. I love how you tease this out because I was a part of the 97% club. I was. I've done over 20, and I'm not joking. I'm not trying to be a dick when I say this. My number right now is about 22, 23.
Just because you don't try to be a dick doesn't make you not a dick.
Let me continue with my point. 23. I bet you the first 11, 12-ish never made it to $1 million. If I'm remembering this right in my head, and I have a cheat sheet that I've got it all written down on, and some pretty brutal tax returns. It's all laid out there. However, the last nine out of the last 10 have hit 7 figures. 3 of the last 4 have hit 8. Last 5 years, $170 million. None of them, you've been a part of some of those. None of them have been super funded. Every single one's were family and friends around. I'm telling you, you follow that formula, giddy up. You'll be a part of the 3% club. So you're right. I was probably the 97% before I didn't know any of that stuff. Till the pattern recognition, I get hit over the head, a dozen times or so. You start to figure out what you're doing wrong, and that's what happens. So I don't care for your numbers. And I bet you, and I mean this sincerely.
I don't care for your statistics, your facts.
And your reasoning, your deduction. But I bet you if that probably is heavily weighted toward first-time founders, right? And first-time founders, I would absolutely be lined up with that. But if you know what you're doing, you follow a system like what I'm describing or something, near that, and this isn't the only system that people use. Everybody uses a version of something I just said, likely. I mean, there's those systems out there.
Well, and there's, not that you consider yourself a guru.
No.
Nor should you.
Good feedback. No, I wouldn't. Not now. No.
I meant that as a positive thing.
It felt like it.
There are a lot of gurus out there.
Yes.
Who do you see out there that is just a fraud? Like what they're saying is just.
Is that too quick?
Who?
Ty Lopez.
Ty Lopez.
Well, a couple of reasons. He's like, hey, I'm in my garage. I started everything out of my garage. I've read every single.
Sorry. I mean, 9 out of 10 phone calls I'm on with you, you're literally in your garage. So I found that funny, but continue.
So it's true. It's true. He's in there telling you, how he reads all these books and
you're really in your garage. He's just pretending. That's
it was more of a prop. For me, it's a function.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Ty Lopez.
Please.
So Ty Lopez sits in his garage. He tells you all about all the self-help books that he reads. And he's like, hey, I bought a Lambo. This is how you do it. He's the guy that's got 67 steps to financial freedom. And he makes it so complex and so like down the weeds. And he's just a hype man. And in fact, he's done a bunch of stuff. And I just read all the prep I've done for this episode. In February, now I don't want to get in trouble by saying anything weird. He was accused of like a Ponzi scheme fraud of how he would get his clients to give money or rev share with him, and then he would give it to other investors. I mean, just a gong show. He's the guy that makes everything's super simple. You just have to do these 101 steps, and I guarantee you're a millionaire. So, and it turns out it doesn't work. And he's the guy like, hey, look at me on the private jet. Look at me driving the Lambo. And he might have done all those things, but he might be going in the Huskow. Ty Lopez, he more of a hype guy. He not really a system, or 67 steps is not disguised as a system. We've not talked about it here, but we've talked about it often. The more you know about a subject, the freaking simpler you can make it. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you're going to explain all the moving pieces of a watch, right? The master clockmaker can be like, it's like springs and some leverage. You twist metal and it holds tension, retain tension. You release that potential energy and it just moves the stuff around. They make it sound really simple. Pretty sure that's how a clock works, right? Or a watch works?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
But smart people who have experienced what the fuck they're doing, not frauds, can explain it really simply. This is a guy that was the 67 steps to, all right, you don't know.
Yeah, if you need 67 steps, you don't understand it.
I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah. So that's why I think he's a fraud. He's literally up for, I believe, Ponzi charges. Yeah. He was very popular. Millions of followers on Instagram, Twitter, the usual sort of profile you'd see on somebody like that. Mr. Omni, genius. So yeah, that's why I think people like us, by the way, we're kind of the shucks everyday sort of business guys. I mean, we'll always say, what the fuck do we know? We're basing this on our very limited experience, but prove me wrong. He was not this guy.
Yeah.
Who's your biggest fraud? You've seen a few. And by the way, I'm gloves. I want to find the good in people. Your default is different than mine. So I'm interested in who Who do you find a fraud other than everybody that's in this room who've ever crossed paths with? Other than all those people, and as a business guru, who are the people you are like
Like a well-known business guru.
well-known? But I think
just-
Ty Lopez, most people sort of know who that is.
Yeah.
But
Well, I don't know if I'd say as a business guru, more just like a professional coach. Simon Sinek, we've talked about him. I don't need to.
it's a shame.
If I keep kicking up that dust, we'll probably get a cease and desist letter at some point. But
We shouldn't, because I love him. Big.
that's not my pick though to your question. My pick's like a true business guru that I think is a fraud, Grant Cardone.
Oh my
without a
God.
doubt. And have you seen some of
Why
this?
do you think? Yeah, well, I've got to take, but why do
Just,
you
you
hate
just
him?
listen to his stuff. He makes you want to puke. It's just so gross. And it's like, no, that doesn't actually work. I don't believe any of those bits are real. I think they're all fake, but whatever. He's been in the news over the last 30, 45 days because he's got a class action lawsuit against him.
What does it say? What's the class action? I've
that
heard about it. I don't know the details.
He's basically fabricated the returns on his funds. I think it's like fund 5 and 6.
And they're big. They're not
They
small.
advertise, maybe guaranteed, I don't know, but basically you're going to get 15% cash on cash return month over month.
IRR,
You invest,
whatever.
yeah. And so there's now a class action lawsuit against that, saying that he made bogus claims on social media, that did not appropriately identify the risks of investing in his funds. They've not made consistent monthly disbursements like they said they would. Multiple kind of charges as a part of that class action suit. He was deposed as a part of this.
Oh, wow. This is deep. Okay. Yeah.
On camera, obviously, like a deposition. He actually fought to have the deposition recording released and made public because he's so fucking deluded that he thinks that this clears him in the public name. I've watched a lot of the videos. I don't think it has done him
What is he saying?
any good. He's just an asshole. He's Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just being himself. And in his mind, putting these out into the public arena is actually helping him clear his name. I've watched a lot of them. I don't think it's done himself any service putting these things out there.
Maybe legally it helps him, but not optically in the public.
I don't know. The court of public opinion, I don't think it's helping him. And he's the one that's put this out there, and he's paying people to chop it up and push it out on socials. He's put it out on all of his channels across all the platforms. He thinks it's helping himself.
Bold move.
I'm like, ooh, some of these things. Like he's making just really corny, cheesy jokes with the attorney that's examining him, like inappropriate type stuff. That's like, I wouldn't be saying
like
that
sexual innuendo or something.
Kind of.
Like that? Good Lord. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm kind of ashamed I didn't pick Grant Cardone because he does reek of a jerk. Just like, ew. I need to shower when I'm done talking to you.
Yeah.
And I've seen some of his videos like off to the side where like he's talking to his sales people, like how do you sell my course and my product set? And dickish is a good way to put that.
I think it's an understatement.
He's a bit of a meathead. Now, so here's what I would say: like, don't hate the player, hate the game. I think that's what a lot of us say in the VC world, right?
I've literally never heard anyone say that.
Well, hang out with a few gyms. Basketball crew likes to say that. Where I was going with that is, now Grant Cardone is legitimately successful sales business development guy, period. Now, are his tactics brutal? Yep. Sounds like he may have been fibbing, telling the truth or not telling the truth all the time. Don't know, allegedly. But his jerk factor is terrible. Just vibe on him.
He leans into that though. I think he wants that to be an element of his personal brand.
Maybe. Well, ding, ding, ding. You nailed it. Yeah, you did well with it. But yeah, Cardone's a good one. Do you think that that impacts how the next? I mean, I've got to take how the next guru. We'll call them business coaches, executive coaches, who come along after him. Like, are they all frauds to some degree? Or you just think Grant Cardone is probably the most loudest, biggest, and he's in those funds.
He's the loudest. Billions. He's the loudest. He has. I mean, he's objectively been financially successful. I mean that That is true.
And his baseline theory about like, hey, rent multi-unit. I mean, that's a solid plan, but it's not his.
Yeah.
He just said it louder and was the roughhouse. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I don't know if it puts a bad taste in people's mouth for all gurus. I think there's always going to be an element of society that just wants someone to tell them how to do it. And they're
Yeah.
going to be willing to believe anybody if they tell them what they want to hear. But there are some people that have that experience with like a Grant Cardone or someone, and they're like, that was a waste of fucking money. I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
I'm going to that discredits all gurus for me. There's definitely some people that do that, but there's always the next idiot in line, right? What's Barnum's quote? There's an idiot sucker born every minute. Yeah. So there's always going to be more people coming up behind that are going to want those types of things.
There's another quote. Then I want to go back to something you just said. P.T. Barnum had when he was selling something, he's like, whatever was like, oh my God, pink salmon was all the rage. The more he said, I got pink salmon, pink salmon, pink salmon. That's how you know it's fresh. That's how you know it's good. He gets this big truckload he thinks he's going to sell, and it's kind of old, and it's not rotting, but it's old and it's turning white and gray.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, shit, what am I supposed to do with this? Well, market it. He goes out there, white salmon, come right now while it's fresh, guaranteed not to go pink. And he just had like a truckload of it, sells it out. There's a little bit of that to some folks, right? Like, you realize you're selling me the opposite thing I want.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to something you said. Everybody hears that, to your point, like, hey, I want somebody to help me with this. I don't want to do this. This seems hard. I mean, I kind of have an idea. I'll do you one better. The amount of traffic we get around, and a lot of people do it done for me. Not with me, done for me. Just fucking do it. I want to do this thing that ordinarily I would have done myself. Like Josh.
I want $1 million a year business, and I want you to do it for me.
Yeah, those people exist out there. And Peril will probably do it for you if you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to,
Pick me, yeah.
they're called financial VCs.
There's someone out there that'll do that. I'll pay for that.
Yeah. If you've got the money to pay that person to do it, they'll run it. They're called general managers. They're called presidents. They'll run a company. They'll do that for you. But most people are thinking about like, here's a great example. When I first started a year and a half ago on my
Within
personal
Peril?
branding,
Or with
just personal brand, just did one on YouTube. It was the simplest sort of like, hey, let's do an interview style podcast, shoot you from the side, we'll record the thing, we'll put it out, we'll make you sound smart. Good luck. And they did. I did like, no, I want the full in done for me thing. You shoot it, you cut it, you edit it, you post it, and I'll take all the credit. I don't have time. I'm running a business. I'm doing this thing. And they did it for you. There are a lot of people out there that are prepared to, and smartly, outsource some of that shit till you know what's going on, till you know what you're doing. So the done for you crowd, here's the thing, that's not a Grant Cardone, that's not this Ty Lopez. They're selling you fake fucking ass promises.
Mm-hmm.
The done for you is like, no, I'm going to do it for you. There's going to be a real result at the end of this. You're going to have a company. You're going to have a website. You're going to have a YouTube channel. You're going to have these things. That's one of the biggest trends I see. So if you're in the business coaching, do the done for you stuff. People want that. They might have extra cheddar and you know, as the kids say, extra money, disposable income, Josh.
Thanks for translating.
I try to help. And they'll do that, you know, and the done with you stuff is still popular as ever. Like, give me enough, hold my hand. I'll do a lot of the lifting. Don't charge me an arm and a leg, but I'll charge you a premium for you holding my hand. Then there's the DIYers.
So in the context of a disclaimer for us to not be branded as one of these gurus.
Well, I don't think we will be after this one.
Revenue is a vanity play. At the end of the day,
100%.
Revenue's vanity. And so we talk about $1 million business. We're talking about revenue. That doesn't mean a whole lot if it costs you $1.1 million to get that revenue.
As one example.
You know, I'm not real good at math, but I don't think that works. And so the real number in my mind is the profitability, whether that's gross margin, net income, whatever that number is. So I would say don't focus exclusively on the revenue part of it, because that doesn't
agree.
And most people intuitively can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And I see way too many founders, entrepreneurs are hyper focused on the revenue number because it's a vanity play. It's really fun to say you've got $1 million business.
It is fun. A lot of fun. So you mentioned revenue as a vanity play. As a sales guy, I don't take offense to that, but I just want to draw out for the non-business development folks out there. Revenue is the hardest thing you're going to do. Getting sales is the hardest, least predictable, fucking just knife fight every day you got to figure out. To get to $1 million, you have to be doing something right and you got to go. I don't view it as vanity, but I know what you're saying. Your point is true. Don't just focus on the revenue number. For me, for a lot of people, it's the hardest thing to get to. That's the hardest. The most important is what you said. It's the profitability. Mm-hmm. It's the, hey, cool. Am I going to work 60 hours a week and make 50 grand this year? I could have done that at Subway. Or am I going to bust my ass and make 600,000 on that same $1 million, right? But I think, it is cool to say it's $1 million business. Yes, I think it's the hardest to get to. So I agree, disagree with what you're saying, but I just think, because I'm a sales guy, we do the toughest job. Obviously.
Just ask any sales guy.
Ask any sales guy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why it's not profitable. It must be a dumb model. I must talk to the CFO guy. I'm selling $1 million a year. What's the problem? Josh, $1 million business, 12 months. It's simple. But it's not easy.
4 easy steps.
Well, it's not 67.
Not 67.
Not 67. But it literally is nail down your why, figure out your offer, how the hell are you going to run it with your system? Sales, finance, and ops, digital thought leadership, and know your hammer. And you're going to get there. I mean, and those aren't guarantees. Your business will scream if you do those things.
You guaranteed that earlier in the episode.
I will guarantee it through a particular entity that who I choose people wisely who I like to work with. Yeah, we'll get you there. If you're a stud, you're a senior leader somewhere, you're a guy, a gal, a nurse, a surgeon, something I know really, I'll guarantee it for you. Come on down. Don't threaten me with a good time. Maybe we'll invest in it. Maybe I'll talk you to writing a check into it. So
you can guarantee
do that. So here's the non-guru way to get to $1 million. We laid it out with some friendly amendments, some kind feedback from you, Josh. Thanks for letting me say that. Had lots to say there, didn't I? Is this my episode? Is that what we're going to call this season 1 episode, or season 3, episode 1? The Mike Nathan episode? Or I think it could be dubbed the fish oil pork shortage. Lobster bait.
I'm just going to have Josh dub your voice over my face.
Lobster bait?
Yeah, lobster bait.
Lawyers, guns, and money?
That's it for this round of burn rate and bullshit, where the only thing we sugarcoat is our coffee.
If you liked what you heard, great. If you didn't, that's even better. We're not here to make friends.
Hit subscribe, send this to whoever needs to hear it. And remember, hype dies, execution wins. Stop pitching, start shipping.
Next time on Burn Rate and Bullshit, the washout. You finally raised a round, and buried in the term sheet is the clause that quietly wipes out every single employee who built the thing.
We read the down round fine print out loud.